So you just checking yourself out. You're like, all right, am I D's dip enough? Yeah. You guys ready? All right. Mario, congrats on the victory, man. What are the, first finish in 2023? What are the emotions coming out? That was a pretty clean victory, dude. What are the emotions after that?
It's surreal, First main event, 5-rounder against a tough opponent. Just watching his highlight reel all week. You don't want to end up on that side. So for me to come out on top, it just feels amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you trained for 5 rounds. I mean, the narrative coming into it was he's going to come out and coming crazy, right? Who knows how long he's going to last? You're definitely going to be more patient. You can last all 5 rounds and everything. I'm probably know the answer to this one, but is there a little bit of disappointment that you didn't get to show that?
No, not really. If you could always get a first-round finish, that's the best. And that's that whole thing. You train hard, you have tough camp, easy fight. That idea, and that's kind of what happened tonight. And it was that game plan as well. I knew he was going to come out hot. I didn't expect for him to initiate the wrestling. That's kind of, I think, a bad game plan on his part. But I just knew that he wouldn't last, past those rounds. He would eventually gas out.
Yeah, and on that point exactly, right? Came out, initiated the wrestling. He looked like he got tired pretty early, right? And then coming in the second round, he looked like he was stumbling a little bit, and there's not much to his punches. Did you feel that in there?
Yeah, definitely. I wasn't sure if he was messing around and kind of like lull me into those big shots, and that's kind of what he did. But it was easy to see. I think that whole thing about him being like 165 pounds or whatever, to me that you're slow. And it makes you slow. I could see everything. I had great eyes in there. All the experience I've had. So yeah, I seen everything.
Yeah, and he, in the finish, he was looking to scramble, try to change the position somehow. You just fought him really, really well. Is that an example of the finish coming to you?
Yeah, it's just all those transitions, going from the takedowns, passing, getting into that crucifix, him giving up an arm, me going for the Kimura, him kind of bailing out, jumping on his back, throwing in that rear naked, just having all these sequences and flow, in my game, and it got me to the finish.
Yeah, he grabbed that fence pretty hard in that first round, right? You were trying to take him down. He grabs the fence, and did Herb Dean say anything to him about that?
Yeah, he did. I didn't know he grabbed the fence. I was like, dang, this dude's kind of hard to take down right here. But yeah, as soon as he let go of the fence, I got him down, and I just wanted to work him, make him tired, gas him out. That was the whole game plan. Even got a good lift off of him too, so it was awesome.
Yeah, did he do anything that gave you any trouble? Because like I said, it seemed like a pretty clean performance.
No, on bottom he got a little like spastic, kind of threw a elbow from the bottom, and there was one where I was kind of postured up. He threw a hammer fist, got me in the jaw a little bit. It did hurt. But other than that, no, his calf kicks were pretty strong. But no, nothing really surprised me except for him initiating the wrestling.
Right at the weigh-ins or the face-offs, he was pretty intense about it. He was right in your face. What did you say to him? I mean, I read lips, but I want to know exactly from you what he said.
No, he got close and he was like, smile while you can, and then he just got too close, and I was like, it seems like you want to kiss me. And I think I broke his character. He started laughing, and then he said that he was gonna beat me worse than he did Kyler, my training partner. And then even when we faced off before our fight, he even said the same thing. He was like, you want to kiss me now? And I just blew him a couple kisses, before I beat him up. But yeah, it's all part of the show.
All right, man. 4-1 in your last 5. You call that Cory Sandhagen for that rematch. How different do you think that fight goes the second time?
I think it goes completely different. I've had so much more experience. That was, I can't even, maybe 10, 12 fights ago. So I've had a lot of experience in that time. And he's just kind of hanging out in that spot. He just can't break that championship spot. So I think it'd make for a great fight and give me that opportunity to see where I can go.
There you go. And how soon would you like that fight to happen?
If we could do it around summertime, I think that'd be nice. I just had these 2 back-to-back. This was a 5-round camp. So it'd be nice to catch up on some life in between this.
Maybe kind of cool to get that, maybe a UFC Phoenix, have that be a headliner?
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be even better than Phoenix. It'd go from Abu Dhabi, Vegas, and then to Phoenix. That'd be nice.
All right, man, congratulations. Heck of a win.
Thank you.
Mario, in the middle. Congratulations. I don't know if you saw, but Song Yadong tweeted at you, called you out. Do you see that?
Who was that?
Song Yadong.
Song Yadong. Nah, I want to fight Sandhagen. Yeah, Song Yadong can just sit on that loss for a little bit.
And then my last one is, I don't know if you saw, Vinicius said afterwards that he actually broke his arm in December. I don't know how much that played a factor, but any thoughts on that?
That sucks, leading into my Patchy fight, I popped a rib. You can kind of see it right there. And I still beat the shit out of him, so I don't care for your excuses, That's part of the game.
And I lied, I have one more just because I forgot to ask. You want Sandhagen next, you get that fight, you get the win. Is that enough for a title shot, do you think?
Definitely. Off of Sandhagen, that calls for a shot at the title, And I think I have a great style to beat the champ. I think I'd give him a run for his money. So, but I feel like I have to get past Sandhagen first, I lost my debut to him, and it would just feel weird if I, passed him up on that. So I'd like to get that one back.
Congrats on the win, Mario. Obviously, you were talking when you just first got on stage about, watching his highlight reel all week, that you didn't want to be on the wrong side of it. But when we see those type of fighters, a lot is talked about, weathering a storm. Were you surprised that you didn't really have to do that, or does that attribute to how well prepared you came into this fight?
No, he's the one that kind of initiated that. With the wrestling, I thought he was going to come out swinging hard, so that's what I meant by weathering the storm. But he just got too close to me, and I was able to grab him. And I just did my thing. That was my game plan. Just wear him out. I think I'm built for 5 rounds. I do this all day. I can go all day. And just looking at him and looking at his fights, I know he just doesn't do what I do. And I knew the longer it went, the worse it'd get for him.
Nice. And it felt like it was not too long ago when people weren't necessarily on your side due to the obvious Aldo fight and all that stuff. But I feel like slowly people have been putting more respect on your name. So how's it like seeing that from the fan perspective?
It's been awesome, and honestly, if you look at that's off the Aldo fight, right? They're kind of bagging on me for that. But if you go back 4 fights pre-Aldo and then the 3 fights post-Aldo, you see an outlier, And so, I don't know. That's his fault too. I'm not taking the blame for that. All the blame for that.
Obviously, big win. Heard you wanted a post-fight burger.
I just already had my pizza and Coke, so that's check right there. We'll get a burger next and a few other goodies.
Congrats.
I know you said you just want him to get out of here with those excuses, but I think he was saying that also that tried to throw the jab, but then it started hurting in the second round. That his team was asking for jabs and his arm wouldn't answer. Could you see anything differently in the second round, or do you think that was just more on what you were doing that maybe changed what he was hoping to do?
No, I didn't see anything different. The only thing I seen him gassing out. I seen him just laying on the bottom, just kind of sitting there, me standing over him. That was kind of surprising, but yeah, that unfortunate. When
a guy gets in your face on the weigh-ins, do you enjoy that sort of stuff? When you guys got in there, you started jawing, talking, and it looked like you just sort of smiled and were laughing at the whole point. When a fighter does that fire you up, or where do you go in your head when somebody starts doing that to you?
No, I think it's just something I've learned over the years, as a teenager, being young and getting in these street fights and stuff. It's all talk. It doesn't matter. It's all talk to me. And once we start fighting, that's where your true colors really show and who you really are. So I don't even worry about all the talking, all the yapping, all the antics, because we'll find out if you're really about it.
And I know you said Sandhagen, the last time you guys fought was 7 years ago, 2019. How different of a fighter are you from then? And same with Cory. He's improved quite a bit as well and went through quite a lot of names. How different of fighters are you guys? Or can you look back at that fight and expect it to be anything like that? Or you guys are so different that the fight's not going to play anything out like how that one did?
No, I think I'm a completely different fighter. I've had so much more experience. I had skills back then, but just being, jumped onto a main card, a pay-per-view card in New York as a young, 25-year-old kid, 6-0, it can kind of get to you a little bit, but I've gone through the experience. I've fought the big names, former champions, main event, and who knows, it could go exactly the same way, but I don't see it going that way.
You fought in the Apex before, but tonight was also your first main event. But how did it feel? How differently did it feel out there with the new crowd set up and the crowd getting loud as ever out there?
It was pretty cool, cool experience, because I started fighting here during COVID, so it was empty when I fought here, and I would fight here, a few months later, they let a few people in, and it just kept building. I think the last time I fought here was probably about 2 years ago when I fought Ricky, and then just walking out there and seeing just the venue, how many more people they were able to fit in here, it was a cool experience, and to be able to see it throughout the fights that I've had, it was something pretty special to me.
Yeah, I think if anything, I forgot that you fought back here in the COVID time, so you literally have seen the very beginning to what it's become now. So it's got to be quite a trip to see the growth.
Yeah, and I've always had great luck here. I think I just lost one fight here, but I've always had great luck here. My buddy Bulldog would call me the Apex champ, so it's pretty cool. I like it here.
Yeah, soon enough, they might call you the UFC champ as well. Congrats on your victory.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Who's the next killer coming through the MMA lab right now that fans should know about?
The next killer, man, we have a lot of young guys coming up right now. Man, there's so many. We had a few fight tonight. I don't know how they did. I still have yet to see. 5-0 at a local show. So all those 5 people, they're on the way up, We have a lot of young guys. Coach tells them to do what I do. So if they do that, they'll get to this point.
Congrats.
Thank you.